This week, Microsoft forgot what the definition of gameplay was. And now we begin. Matt.
Hello, Nate.
Hello. What are we doing?
This is the Gamers 2 podcast for May 8th, 2020. Your weekly roundup of news and commentary related to the video game industry.
He's surprising me with things.
Trying to get a spiel.
I like it. I like that you're trying to get a spiel, and I realized, I don't know if you realized that I realized right after I said the Microsoft thing, I went, I don't know where to go. I didn't have a transition to your beautiful spiel. I broke, and I was like, yeah, Matt, please fix me. Help. I don't know what to do.
Well, we don't really
we don't have structure.
We have structure.
We have structure of toothpicks.
I mean, traditionally a podcast would have an intro,
an opening,
content, that type of thing. And we just kind of do high content usually, or high, we start talking.
I like it. Do you have it memorized?
No, I have it on. I wrote it on my phone, and I was still working out wording up until 2 minutes ago.
Okay,
so
give it one more once over, and then we'll truly begin. But give it one more just love.
Oh God, this is.
You're all right. You'll be okay. You got this.
All right. This is the Gamers 2 podcast for May 8th, 2020. Your weekly roundup of news and commentary related to the video game industry.
Play music. Hey, Matt.
Okay, there it is.
Yeah, so play whatever music. When I say play music, just hit something on your phone or something and play that little bit of intro for yourself, and then we'll continue.
Yeah, so there you go. There's the...
I think those are our 3 steps. My BS opening, your new correct line, a little bit of music, and then hello, Matt.
There's your...
That's our... Welcome to the Flowchart podcast.
This is the creative process. So if you have commentary of your own of the current process, let us know.
In the comment section below.
Don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell icon.
Oh, what was the Ray William douchebag? Leave your interesting and creative comments or whatever. Interesting and creative thoughts in the comment section below. Anyway, let's continue. Yes, gaming news, things, releases, believe it or not.
I saw a few on there.
Quite literally, a coupling.
A coupling
of releases. Oh, we're going to have a lot of breaks in this podcast because I don't know if Matt's going to all of a sudden have another sentence.
That's it. So. That's all I got.
All right.
We're moving on. I don't have a spiel for your curated new release thing. We'll work on that.
All right. Still workshopping 4 years into it. Number 1 is Fury Unleashed for the PlayStation, Xbox, and Switch. And number 2 is Megabyte Punch for the Switch. Those are the only 2 things I had on my list of new releases this week.
That's weird. I feel like
it's a slow week. It was a more news week, and that's not saying much.
Yeah, for sure. This is the news this week is heavily curated in the fact that there was a lot of news. A lot of it was boring fluff, we shall say.
That this podcast excels in boring fluff.
Yeah, I'm trying to get away from the, Nate's favorite MPD numbers. I know he always likes them, but
I like them, just not when they mean nothing.
Yeah,
which is what they're going to mean until January of next year.
Mm-hmm. And
console sales are down for the rest of this year. Here's the MPD report. Yeah, I don't care.
And stuff that's obvious. It's hard. I mean, sometimes it's hard to avoid those things.
Oh yeah, in August, I bet Madden is one of the top selling games.
Yeah, exactly. Call of Duty.
You're welcome.
The best selling game of the year. Surprise. Yeah. Call of Duty.
Oh, weird. It does that almost every year. Except for that one year that NBA 2K showed up. I put a drink somewhere.
It's disappeared. Oh, it's windowsill.
Thank you.
Hiding behind the curtain.
Yeah.
Oh,
The man behind the curtain.
Yeah.
What?
are those curtains new?
No, they've been there. They've been there forever.
I don't know. I've never noticed
Every
them
podcast
before.
we've ever done this, they've been there. I appreciate that, though. Would you like news article number 1 or 2?
I have no preference. I'm not the decision maker.
Oh, God. I'll take evens there.
Okay, we got a long one for number 1. Star Wars Battlefront from 2004 has received an update on Steam and GOG that adds multiplayer to the game.
I think this is important that Matt reads this one. Because I'm not going to play Battlefront from 2004.
I'm not either. I'm not sure why it was updated.
Do we want tinfoil hat theories? Conspiracy theories around May the 4th and what everything might be Star Wars content-wise?
The popular conspiracy theory that I kept see popping up on Reddit and whatnot was the old, trying to attract attention to the Star Wars games because there's something coming down the pipeline and they want mind share.
I like the idea. It's definitely a possibility. It also could be that there's nothing coming, so we need to keep people on as many platforms as they are.
That's true. That's a good. That's a
it
good
could
point.
be that,
Mhm.
or it could be the first idea of something coming down the pipeline. But they also need everybody to forget what currently happened, so go back and play beloved things before we bring out big new shiny toy. Like they have to distract you before they put another thing in front of you.
Maybe.
Like, hey, what's in my left hand? It gets slapped with the right.
We'll never know.
I still feel like I have wing sauce in my mustache. It's so bugging me. Anyway.
I feel it. We had the quick story. We had these wings. They were bourbon flavored. The sauce was really saucy. Like
It's
that thick.
Yeah, thick saucy.
Thick, syrupy, saucy.
2
And,
C's
like,
thick.
it has straight up messed up my mustache.
Yeah.
I know it's messed mine up. I want to just go home and like put conditioner in my mustache.
I either want to do that or I'm so tempted to just take the trimmer and just gone.
Yeah.
Whole thing gone. Problem solved because then I get a fresh face and I can just scrub that face and it'll be all good. But then the mustache is gone, so problems. Yeah, there's a lot of Star Wars. I mean, we would have done Star Wars stuff last or no. 1, 2. No, it would be this week where we would actually be covering the May the 4th stuff.
Yeah,
and we're going to for the most part.
We're going to not our normal. I mean, it's slim the fat.
Yeah, I mean we're as much as you said gaming. Did you say like geek culture? Because that's basically where we are as well.
Yeah, we're in there.
We focus on gaming, but we are enveloping of nerd culture for the most part. The Venn diagram has a very large cross section, and there's a third circle called sports, and that's sometimes shoots up.
Sometimes.
Depends on if I'm allowed to talk or if sports are actually happening.
Yeah.
You guys want to hear about baseball cards? Number 2, continuing with Star Wars news, I almost just said CAEEO. Sorry. Continuing with Star Wars news, EA CEO Andrew Wilson confirmed what we all should have suspected. Oh, God. Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order will have sequels. During an earnings call, he said that the game is the first title in an entirely new franchise. Yep, trimming the fat. Let's just move on.
Well, we could have talked about Lego Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga.
More impressive than...
Although there was literally nothing said about it other than it exists.
Yeah.
And it'll be out sometime this year.
And I'm pretty sure when the game from Respawn of Fallen Order was in development and stuff, they were talking about more than one game. I guess this is the confirmation that there's more than one. But I believe there were quotes from them beforehand that there was going to be more than one. And with like the way the story is and stuff, it sets itself up easily for more of them. I just hate the title being Star Wars Jedi :
Yeah.
That's always been my bug. But it's whatever it is. Interesting to see what they would do with more. I have my own thoughts about the game that I've spoken about back when I played it.
Star Wars Sith Rising Order. Order Rising. Order Arisen.
Yeah, all those things. Let's play the part right before. Let's do Star Wars Sith Rising Order, whatever you want it to be. Like, let me be executing Order 66. Let me play the back. Once again, stop making good guy games.
It's like,
it's
annoying. I'm not going to get into it.
Because you can easily flip the script and paint not the Sith necessarily. You can paint the Sith not necessarily in like in a good light, but you can definitely paint the Jedi in this annoying, childish light, which lends the Sith to you as a person actually want to kill them because they're just annoying toddlers.
Yeah,
and you're like, you don't understand what we're doing. The whole constant bad guy thing. Like, I see this grand vision. Shut up. I'm here to kill you. I'm going to snap my fingers and Thanos comes. You know, it's all Disney. That's all I'm saying.
Well, there's hope.
Thanos in Star Wars. Possibility. Thanos in Fortnite. Star Wars in Fortnite. Coincidence? Don't think so. Same universe. 6 degrees of Thanos. They were both in Fortnite. Boom. Kylo Ren was saved by the snap. He came back from Doctor Strange. Somebody tell me I'm wrong. Somebody tell me.
There is hope on the horizon.
Oh, no. More Star Wars?
Yeah. Taika Waititi is directing and co-writing a Star Wars film. Also, there's another Star Wars series being developed for Disney Plus by Leslie Headland from Russian Doll and Bachelorette fame.
I don't know her, but I know Taika.
Yeah. He's co-writing with another writer who's...
Yeah, there were 3 people I saw in the pictures.
I can't remember her name, but she was like from other stuff. Like, she was won a BAFTA award, nominated for an Emmy or an Oscar or something.
I'm pumped to see Taika get a whole movie in the Star. When we were watching Mandalorian, and episode 7 or 8, it starts with an isolated shot of 2 stormtroopers that have the child, and they're having a very Taika Waititi moment. And it turns out, I think it was Seth Rogen and Taika Waititi were the 2.
It was 2 comedians, but it wasn't those 2. It wasn't
Rogen. I thought it was.
No, it was like, I can't remember who it was.
But yeah, they were in those suits, in the stormtrooper suits, and they were having a very human conversation that, for whatever reason, a ton of movies take out of things that Taika, I think, puts into that. Like, they're silly conversations, but also, what would 2 stormtroopers just be doing that are told to guard this thing? Like, oh, let me see it. No, you can't see it. What's in the bag? Let me see it's in the bag. And just this whole, I don't know, it maybe last 5 minutes, not even. But watching it, I was like, this is perfect. This is what I want out of, like, this universe that has all these vast characters. And then rather than you show me a nobody at the end of 7, 6, 8, at the end of 8 that's moving a broom, don't show me that kid. Show me the stormtroopers that are told to guard what looks like a baby Yoda and are just like, come on, man, let me see what's in the bag. And then just having their own, like, goofy fight with each other, like 2 friends would. It's like, it makes sense. It takes this supposed to be like, we're never not serious, dark world. Guys, the prequels exist. Nothing serious. And then they try to make it all this dark stuff in the movie. And then they have this moment of just 2 stormtroopers hanging out. And I'm like, extend that to a whole movie, and I love the idea. Guardians of the Galaxy, Star Wars. Okay. Jojo Rabbit, Star Wars. Instead of Hitler, it's Vader. And you have this youngling.
Young Kylo Ren.
Even if it was just like, it would be so stupid, but you could have the gap between 3 and Rogue One where, or no, because who does Vader take on? Vader takes on an apprentice. at some point. He takes on multiple, I think. But
Yeah, I think the whole idea is he always has an apprentice, but they're not anyone of consequence.
Right. So just have that basically be Jojo Rabbit, because Hitler's not actually there in Jojo Rabbit. He's a manifestation of the child's mind. So have the same thing where Hitler's just showing up. He's like, everybody keeps calling me crazy. I don't understand it. And just all this stuff. And if you want to show me a child turning over to the light side in a good and like a fun way of like breaking the idea of the empire and things, Jojo Rabbit really does it. You basically just swap Nazis and Jews for the empire and the rebels. You need to watch Jojo Rabbit, and I think you would 100% just go, I get what he's talking about, and it fits perfectly.
Oh, I'm sure.
But
I'm sure.
I'm just pumped to see a full... I don't have well, it's not unfortunate, but I need to go back and watch Taika movies before Guardians.
You mean before...
Well, before Guardians, before
Ragnarok?
Ragnarok. Because, what was that? James Gunn was...
Yeah.
Guardians.
Which I'd take a James Gunn Star Wars movie as well.
Yeah, so would I.
If anyone's asking.
Let's see what DC does first, then let's see if he can save Suicide Squad before we move to that. But yeah, I need to see him before that and before JoJo and before he started to like really start ramping up. I need to see some of his older works just to see if they're also in that style and that if he can take the title of my favorite director. Because right now he's in the running. So, I don't know. I am intrigued. Shall we continue?
Sure.
I don't know if you're looking up anything pertinent before I move away from Star Wars.
No, I'm just looking at, his career.
Okay. Plus, all right, so let's not talk only about Taika. I feel like that's not fair. I just what I'm most excited for. Do we know what the other Star Wars series is? Like who it's supposed to focus on or anything? And we
nothing.
We saw Mandalorian season 2 is confirmed.
Season 2 is confirmed. One of the episode directors showed a photo with the child, and then today news got out that Boba Fett will be. I don't want to say that because the actor who played Jango Fett, who we assume is what Boba Fett looks like, was cast in The Mandalorian.
Right.
But I'm not sure if we specifically know he's cast to play Boba Fett. Because
no, because
there
he shouldn't
are
be
clones.
Well, it's because of clones, but also because of where the timeline is. Boba should be long dead.
Not necessarily.
Because I thought this was years after 9.
This is before. I think
is this between 6 and 7?
This is between 6. No, this is between 6 and 7, I think.
Yeah. But either way, it's far removed. Wait, when was it? No, I thought it was later than that because... No, between 6 and 7 makes sense because Yoda's dead. Supposed to be anyway.
5 years after Return of the Jedi.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, so after 6. So he might not be dead, but it would be really... I don't want them to... If it is him, I don't want them to shoehorn it in. You know what I mean? Like, I'd almost rather them just have like a passing moment. Where he shows up in an episode and it like almost scoffs at him and then just disappears. But we'll see.
Yeah, so the actor is coming back, and I'm just double checking right now. The actor's coming back, but we aren't 100% positive that he's actually playing Boba Fett. I kind of suspect that he's going to be playing one of the clone troopers.
Okay, yeah.
Because I haven't been watching it, but if you've been following Clone Wars and Rebels and stuff, they're pretty... Some of them are prevalent in those series.
That and my understanding of the last 5 Clone Wars episodes, they keep just showing perspectives of Order 66 getting executed.
Mm-hmm.
Of just like what's happening at like all the different places that as it's happening. So it's like, okay, you guys have just all right, clones? Yeah, problems. Here we go. Let's move on to number 4 though, shall we? Number 4.
What?
No, I don't know. Number 4, Amazon Game Studios is launching their first big budget original game on May 20th. Crucible is a free-to-play sci-fi third-person shooter that mixes together a bunch of popular game designs. Crucible will feature a roster of different characters with specific abilities and 3 distinct game modes that each touch on competitive gaming's biggest genres. The first mode, called Heart of the Hives, will be a 4 versus 4 mode pitting 2 teams against AI-controlled enemies. The second mode, Alpha Hunters, will put 8 teams of 2 against one another in a Battle Royale-style contest, with the last man standing declared the winner. And the last mode, Harvester Command, sounds a bit like Dota 2 and League of Legends by putting 2 teams of 8 up against one another in a contest to collect essence and level up your characters mid-game.
Attack the Clones. You get it? Because it's a clone. It's a clone of other games.
It's a clone of other games, but it's butchered like the clones were because it's an amalgamation of a bunch of other games. And the problem is, I don't think it'll succeed. Hot takes.
I agree.
It'll be interesting to see if it does, but there's a solid chance that it's too late.
The only way I see this succeeding is by Amazon literally throwing money at it to like force it into popularity.
Yeah. Hey, it's free with Prime. Hey, it's blah, blah, blah. Hey, all these streamers that are on Twitch, play it for a week. Here's some money.
Mm-hmm.
And hope that works.
Yeah. I mean, I guess we'll have a better idea. Well, when's Valorant coming out officially?
I don't know.
Okay, so this might be out before Valorant's a thing.
This will be out, no doubt, before Valorant is officially released.
Okay.
But everybody is also still playing Valorant.
Yeah.
For the most part.
Valorant, in my eyes, is also a clone of sorts.
Valorant also has it has a scary bubble.
Yeah.
That could burst. But it, at the moment, looks fine.
All right, moving right along. Activision Blizzard has partnered with Sport Trader to institute betting monitoring in both its Overwatch League and Call of Duty League. Through the multi-year deal, Sport Trader will observe global betting activity connected to the 2 leagues and report any integrity concerns it finds. This includes issues related to match fixing, inside information misuses, and other unethical and illegal activities related to betting and gambling. Getting ahead of the curve, I think, on this one.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. Yeah, I mean, it just makes sense because it's a mix of like ahead of the curve, but also it's been happening a while. Like not the gambling or fixing or whatever. Like gambling's been happening forever, but your 2 leagues that you just mentioned have been going on for a few years.
Mm-hmm.
So is this potentially like they got wind of something happening and they're like, okay, we need to just do this to establish everything? Or is it we are worried this might come to the forefront because we're starting to be super successful, when I don't know if that's true?
I think it's a little bit of the second one. I'm assuming they do want it to become a mainstream thing, and this is just another step where when I said getting ahead of the curve, I meant trying to get in a position to where if something were to occur, they could easily defend themselves, and not, grab the attention of, regulators and government and whatnot.
Yeah, which is always the key when it comes to video games. You do not want people not understanding how to start intervening. Number 6, the Tokyo Game Show 2020 and Paris Games Week have been canceled. The Tokyo Game Show will be reshaped into an online event, while
I didn't finish that sentence.
I assume that is while the Paris Games Week will not.
Yeah, the promoters are, they didn't say anything about doing an online event, but all they said was that they're refocusing on the 2021 event. So I guess you could infer
they're not doing
Nada
anything.
this year, which is fine.
It's just another one where it's like, color me surprised? Because I'm not. So, just more confirmations of things that aren't going to happen.
Gonna be a boring year.
New consoles.
Maybe.
There's two very strong camps. Boring year picket sign and new console picket sign. And they're just both looking at each other like, I hope one of you is wrong.
I think we might get... This is my hot take.
Oh boy, here we go.
I'm not confident that we'll see 2 new consoles this year.
Oh, interesting. You think one gets out the gate, but the other one gets delayed. And I think you see Xbox comes out this year and Sony falls into next year.
In another hot take, I think that's what Sony should do, because if they're dragging
a good old PS3 style launch,
if they're dragging their feet so bad now, and all the rumors about issues and stuff they're having, the economy's down, people don't have a lot of money they can be spending,
except for the people spending $3,000 on baseball cards.
Everything's on pause. Why not push it 6 months, 12 months?
Yeah. It's an interesting idea, and I see where you're coming from.
Transparent about it.
Which is not what they'll do. Sony, are you transparent? Never heard of the definition of the word. Nope. Transparent, you mean like where I put up a wall and you can't see what I'm doing? No. Like the wall comes down and you tell us what you're doing. Nope. Just gonna stand here. Don't worry about it. Don't look over there. Look at me. Don't look over there. Hey, did you have stuff like leak or something about? Nope. Nothing. It's weird. Why'd you even bring that up?
Sony's like, have you ever seen The Wizard of Oz?
I mean, I made the reference to the man behind the curtain, but yeah.
Did you make the man behind the curtain?
Not
reference?
Well, kind of there of the look at me, not that, but more when I said don't mind the man behind the curtain when I pointed to the curtains and you asked me if they were new.
Maybe that's why it's like fresh in my head, but I was just like, oh, Sony reminds me of the Wizard, because like, you know, you see him and then he acts like you don't see him.
Oh yeah. He's 100% where they're like, people are staring at them like, you're not coming out this year, are you? And he's like, no, I'm totally coming out this year. Why would you think any different? Sony, we clearly, like the production lines and everything, you're not even putting out messages. I've put out a lot of messages. All my big games are coming out this year. Yeah, exactly. Like, you have nothing for next generation. I see no problem. It's like, fuck it, whatever, man. It's the adult one where they just kind of look at him like, fucking, I'm so out of here. I'm done with you.
Just like, all right, where's the door?
When the wizard comes back, he's like, oh no, please stay.
Halo 2 Anniversary is coming to PC as part of Halo the Master Chief Collection on May 12th. That's it.
Cool.
Halo. More Halo.
Adding on to the Master Chief Collection.
Not the Halo we want.
This is not the Halo you're looking for. Really? You don't like 2?
I like 2.
I think 2's good.
I know. But, you know, everyone wants that Halo Infinite information.
That's true. I thought you were speaking only of old Halos. Infinite, also not shown during the Microsoft event this week.
Yeah.
Still have no idea what that game may be. Also might not come out this year. Interesting.
I guess it's relevant, and it's not in the Xbox article. They did say their first party event will be next month, I think, or July. Oh, shit, now I can't remember.
This summer. Summer of games. It'll happen
June or July. I think it's July. I think July.
One of the J's. One of the good old J's.
We'll talk about it when it shows up.
That's true. We will. We'll do a live reacts to it. Not really. Not live. Recorded. Maybe.
We're live.
We're live. Number 8. ESPN will air live NBA 2K League matches on ESPN2 on 3 Tuesdays this month. Some league matches will also be shown on the ESPN app and ESPN.com, depending on the day of the week and when in the season you're watching. What? Starting this past Tuesday through May 19th, the matches will be aired at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Do you have a better way of explaining that to me?
Not without a diagram.
All right. Everybody pull out your pens and a whiteboard. Here we go.
ESPN's like, well, ESPN's being ESPN. Let's hedge our bets because we're not sure if people actually want to see this. So let's put it in all these obscure time slots at all these obscure places and not throw any actual effort.
But what does it mean when it says depending on the day of the week and when in the season you're watching? What does that mean?
So the matches,
is it on Tuesday at 7:00 or not?
The ones that are airing live will be at Tuesday, 7 p.m.
Okay, that's all I needed to know.
Depending on the daytime, whatever, they might have, re-air matches on or live matches on or whatever, depending on how they're feeling.
Okay, so ESPN might just show NBA 2K games, but at 7 p.m. on Tuesday, it's a live game.
Bingo.
Wow, that's simple. Say that.
Bingo, bongo,
not
bango.
When in the season you're watching, it feels like an autumn day. Maybe it's autumn in the northern hemisphere, and so the Grizzlies will be playing today. What is that? Oh, I know they mean basketball season, but even that doesn't explain anything to these people. That hurt my brain to read.
That's what I'm here for.
I appreciate you.
Cyberpunk 2077 has received M for mature rating from the Entertainment Software Ratings Board,
which is also a PEGI 18.
No surprise there. I think we can agree.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. I forgot. Hold on. This is news. Oh, my God. No shit.
In the official rating summary over at the SRB, some content is described in detail, giving us some insight into what to expect from the game. The description states that during the quest in question, players will assist a character by hammering nails through his hands and feet, resulting in screaming sounds and blood effects accompanying the scene. A few other details of interest: sex scenes are in first person, and you can customize your genitals.
The important thing of this document is where Matt had to write, you can customize your genitals. And I don't say had to, I mean get to.
And I edited that statement because originally it said you could customize your genital size. And then I double checked. No, you can customize your genitals. So, like, not just the size.
Can I have a double dick?
Maybe. I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised.
Maybe side by side, double barrel action.
Maybe you could have a sideways hammerhead dick.
Oh, that's interesting.
You could have, like, maybe you could do the Total Recall, three boobs.
Yeah. But not on my chest.
Not, who knows?
One on each shoulder, and then one in the center of my chest.
Maybe I'll have my character have like a shelf ass.
Ooh, yeah. Yeah.
So you put things on it?
Yeah. You just got to keep things when you're standing around, Like, there's no room to set my beer down.
Or no ass, so I have a smaller hit box.
Ooh, that's always true. You get that nice skinny figure and you can just run around and not get hit ever.
I can't wait, man, for this game because
I can't wait for everybody not to be able to stream it.
Yep.
That's break TOS constantly.
That's a good point.
No, it'll be it's interesting. It's a lot. I mean, I don't think any of us are surprised it was gonna. If they said it was gonna be PG-13, that's much bigger news because then I go, well, what happened? But being rated M, yeah, obviously that makes sense.
Yeah, I'm just curious.
I say PG-13. That's not a rating in video games. Teen.
Now I'm just curious to see how outlandish it actually is, and like I'm sure it's gonna have a point. Like it's not just gonna be.
Well, yeah, it's not going to be the Unreal Tournament character creator, but where you can actually, I think, become a shark. But the options are probably rather extravagant for customization.
Probably, but I think I have faith in CD Projekt Red that it might actually everything they do might actually serve a purpose to some extent.
Oh, I'm sure that if like you customize your genitals in a certain way, I hope that a character like references it at you, where he's like, I mean, that's a choice, man. You did that, but you know what? Hey, we're not here to judge. Let's go. Like he finds you without your pants on or something. He's just like, you want to talk? You know what? Never mind. I don't want to.
They have implants for that now.
Yeah,
micro penis.
You could have gotten that fixed, man. We live in the future. Like, hey, man, I wouldn't have slept with that hooker robot. That's all I'm saying. Mostly because I did last week and I had to go to the doctor. So just heads up. Like, That's all. It'd be interesting.
Yeah, I can't wait. I'm sure we'll have interesting stories when it does come out.
Oh, yeah, we will definitely have interesting stories. Yeah. In other news, number 10, a story trailer for The Last of Us Part 2 was released this week. You're welcome.
We watched it. If you're curious, go watch it.
More trailer. I mean, I don't need it, but it was, it was interesting. Footage was captured on a PS4 Pro. Makes sense because it's going to release in June. So, it's an interesting.
It had an interesting tag on it, which makes sense. But I just thought I'd mention it. It had a tag that said exclusive to PlayStation 4.
Which is weird.
Yes.
Because I believe we were told it's not.
Yes. And the fact that it's, you'd think it would say exclusive to PlayStation.
Right. And not put a number on it.
PlayStation 4. And I was like,
I mean, The Last of Us was exclusive to PlayStation 3.
I wonder if that's them.
Until it wasn't.
I mean, I wonder if that's their subtle way of just being like, it's compatible, like backwards compatible.
Right.
But there's not a
5 version. It just runs 4 version.
Yeah.
That would be interesting. There was we'll kind of touch on it in the Microsoft stuff, but there are a few tweets I saw that were like, what does exclusive mean anymore? Because it's the same question. I'm going to bring up the definition of gameplay a lot during our next Microsoft topic, but the definition of exclusive has now gotten so unbelievably blurred that it's terrible to use. Our game is, exclusively on Xbox, but it's also on PC and it's also on the other Xbox services. And oh, by the way, because it's exclusive to Xbox, it's also on PC, which is not how exclusive works, is by definition of the word. And then, hey, it's also on Steam, and it's like, wait. Do you mean just say not on PlayStation? Like that's better at that point because, or other ones where like PlayStation exclusively on PS4. Horizon was exclusively on PlayStation. It's on PC. So Death Stranding, Detroit Become Human, all these things that while they are PlayStation, they are now making their way. So it's just
it's too convoluted.
It's starting to go. Every game is exclusive. It's like, wait, no, what? No.
My issue with it is, if you're not like an enthusiast of the industry, if you're
confusing.
If you're just someone who picks up a game every once in a while and plays and doesn't get deep dive into the news, like I said something to someone the other day, we were talking about a game and we're talking about Assassin's Creed, and I mentioned how we were supposed to see gameplay footage this week.
Yep.
On the Inside Xbox event.
Yep.
And he was like, "Oh, is the game just coming out on Xbox then?" And I was like, "Oh no, they're just marketing with Microsoft."
Yeah.
And it's like that type of thing.
Yeah, it's all misleading marketing gobbledygook that can confuse a lot of people. And when you and I worked in the retail side of it, you have people come in and go, "Oh, I wanted to buy so and so, like for my kid," especially around holiday time when you have parents coming in that have no idea and they're handing you a list drawn in crayon by their kid. They're like, "Oh, he said this." And then she's like, "But I see that it only comes out for the Xbox and we don't have an Xbox, I don't think." And then it's like, okay, well, here we go. Because you don't know what you have either. What color is it? What does it look like? Like the hoops we had to jump through to try to understand what they were looking at. And then also go like, your kid doesn't understand what exclusive means. You have a PlayStation, not an Xbox, and the game's an Xbox exclusive. So like, I don't know what you want to tell them.
Yeah.
And then, or explaining it to them, they're like, "Oh, hey, I wanted to get Mario Kart for the Xbox." And it's like, all right, let's break it back down a bit. But at least with Nintendo, when they say something's exclusive to the Switch and it's a Nintendo title, you don't go, "And what else?"
Yeah. The times we live in.
I was going to do a Times reference, but I couldn't think of one. Not Time keeps on slipping into the future.
The times are a-changing.
That's the one I was going for. But I couldn't think of the beat. All I could think of was the times keep on slipping into the future. That's all I could think of.
Space Jams, right?
I don't know.
I feel like that's on Space Jams. I don't know.
Space Jams?
Space Jam. Space Jams? Space Jam.
Jam. That's the
Space
single
Jam.
jam. There's a lot of jams, welcome to it, but there's only one movie. Except that the second one got announced. Woo. Coming out in 2021 with LeBron.
How do you want to do this? We're at the point in the show where we're going to cover the Xbox. All right, so let's talk about this real quick. I hear it referred to as Inside Xbox, and I've also heard it referred to as Xbox 2020.
Inside Xbox.
They keep referring to these events as well. Like, I think, okay, so what I heard referenced was going forward, every Xbox, maybe Inside Xbox event or whatever, is going to be an Xbox 2020 for the Series X. I don't know. They need to get their shit together on that.
We're calling it Inside Xbox because that's what they called it. And if they want to call this year like Xbox 2020 and these Inside Xbox episodes fall under that umbrella, that's fine. But when I hear Xbox 2020 is I think of their Microsoft event that they have that I think was in London where it was like MX something. It was that collaborative event that everybody went to. That's what I think of.
The Xbox 2020 is a stylized thing too. It says Xbox 2020.
Like a vision thing.
Yeah, like vision, exactly.
Oh.
Which makes sense in a way. I kind of liked it, but I was like, all right.
It kind of makes sense until you watch Inside Xbox.
Spoilers.
And your vision isn't that good.
Microsoft held an Xbox event this week that focused on, quote, gameplay.
You guys remember that call-in from the beginning? They don't know. I don't think you know the definition of that word.
For third-party games releasing on the Xbox Series X. Before we get into what was revealed, I can speak today, I swear. Xbox marketing manager Aaron Greenberg tweeted this in the aftermath of the event. Quote, clearly we set some wrong expectation, and that's on us. We appreciate all the feedback and can assure you that we will take it all in and learn as a team, end quote. Spoilers, there wasn't much gameplay. There were three major takeaways from this event. Games, smart delivery, and optimized for Series X.
Greenberg tweeted that, and then Ashraf Ismail from Ubisoft also tweeted something very similar to the effect of like, we understand, but like, we're sorry. You'll see more coming up, obviously, because we're in May. You're going to see more going forward, but there is a what is it? Princess Bride? You told me earlier. Is it Princess Bride?
Yeah.
And the guy says, you keep using that word, and I don't think you know what it means. And that
inconceivable.
It was very much the way that gameplay was used during this entire thing. We're like, gameplay, and it's like, yeah, it's not what that. No, that's not gameplay. So I don't. Let's alternate through these.
Okay.
Through our major bullet points. I'll start off after you have introduced us. Optimized for Xbox Series X is another badge because Microsoft loves those. Optimized games will take advantage of Xbox Series X features like 4K resolution at up to 120 FPS, direct storage, hardware accelerated ray tracing, and faster load times. The optimized badge means titles will have been tweaked in some way by developers for the new console. All the games at this event sport the badge. Makes sense. You're not going to have a game at Inside Xbox for this event that isn't optimized. But okay.
Yeah.
A minor badge, I think, more than anything.
Yeah. Was it, I think maybe they both did it, the PS4 Pro and maybe the Xbox One X. The PS4 Pro, I think, games had a badge that was like, enhanced for PS4 Pro or something like that.
Yeah, they did. They had some type of marker somewhere that was like, this has been enhanced for PS4 Pro or whatever. That when you started it up, you get the option of like, what was it, frame rate or resolution type of thing. The badge makes sense. I don't know when I want to rip on this, and maybe it'll be during each one of these, or maybe I should get it out of the way now. But saying that, I don't know when I want to do this. Saying saying that resolution thing and then watching this video isn't good, because I think objectively none of these visually look like they're even close. I think there's texture problems all over the place. There's blur issues. Like, I watched it both live and uploaded afterwards, and every time I watch it, I'm just like, it doesn't look good.
Which it's kind of it kind of feeds into a little bit into the gameplay statement again, which we were mentioning, that none of these games that we'll talk about in a minute, not none of them, most of them were not actual gameplay. And on top of that, it's an interesting move that Microsoft led with third-party games instead of switching their events and doing first-party first and then third-party. I suspect there's a development issue going on there.
It would be very interesting if when we get to the first-party one, if everything looks gorgeous.
Yeah.
And then we run into like PlayStation conversations where we're like, oh no, our first party is the only one that know how to leverage this correctly. But it visually just,
the other
a lot
thing,
of problems,
which might be related, but when I was researching this and doing the quick little summaries for each game, it became pretty apparent that most of these games didn't start off as an Xbox Series X, like, in mind.
Exclusive.
Yeah, like most
not
of these,
not necessarily exclusive, but
yeah. Most of these games were already well in development last year, 2 years ago, whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
So
in the discussion of that, we'll get through it. We'll go game by game when we get there, but and then I want to revisit our conversation from earlier, probably after this, about what we were remembering coming to the PS3 and Xbox One launches, and how some of these visuals could probably play there, and then what we got at the beginning of the PS4 PS3 and Xbox One, PS4 and Xbox One cycle, and what we think might be coming out of new consoles based on what we saw here. So let's continue.
Smart delivery we've covered before. 10 of the games we're about to mention will have smart delivery, meaning if you buy it for the current gen, you'll also get it for the Series X version and vice versa. Naturally, EA had to complicate matters by having their own version of smart delivery, which isn't nearly as generous. There's timelines and restrictions, as you would expect from EA. We're not going to go into detail on that either. There's only one game that it falls under that we're going to talk about. So,
smart delivery, though, as we talked about the first time, is a massive, I think, feature.
It's a big win for Microsoft at the moment.
Without hearing Sony doing anything like it, it's giant.
Yeah, so like if Sony meets it, gamers are winning big time.
Yeah.
If Sony doesn't, that's a massive selling point
to Switch. Not even to necessarily Switch, but for Xbox people to not bother switching.
Yeah, so like that's exactly it. If you own an Xbox One and they do smart delivery, which it seems like from what we've heard already, a lot of people are on board with this. That's all those people are going to just migrate to a Series X, which it seems like Microsoft's playing the long game here. They're not going for the big sales numbers right out the gate. They know that it's going to be a slow adoption this cycle, but they're just like, all right, let's just do the incremental upgrades. Right,
which I think is what I've touched on, and you in previous times when we start discussing what the new consoles mean, and that Microsoft gave up this current console race 3 years ago and said we need to start planning for the future and screw consoles like as the selling point. Make the features and some services and all that stuff our selling point. What is this called? Sorry, smart delivery, Game Pass, like all these things, make those the reason you want to be here. The console will be a benefit. Not the console is the reason you're here, and the other things are the benefit. They flipped the discussion on those, and I think that immensely set them forward going into the next generation and the generation after that.
Yeah, and for sure, like seeing the whole picture of the original Xbox, the Xbox 360, Xbox One going forward, Microsoft has never really had a console that they made a ton of money on.
Right.
Most of their console generations, when they've launched, for sure, they've been losing money on the consoles.
Yep.
And that's always kind of been their business model. And what they're doing now almost seems like a culmination of all of that thought process, where they're like, you know, it's the whole picture coming together finally.
Yeah.
Like someone's been bringing a piece here and there every once in a while, and it's just kind of like coming to fruition now.
Yeah, and it's the joke of the all-seeing Phil. But when Phil did take over, a lot of these changes basically started getting put in, and he has, not that he is alone in the credit deserved, but he is the face of what this new Xbox mission has become and started to lead, and actually looks really good.
Mm-hmm.
So, I
Yeah.
mean,
We'll see.
Xbox, you're doing good. You're doing good things.
We'll see. Do you want me to read the games? I know you generally.
I normally do like to comment.
I'll read through them.
Yeah, go for it, because this is just going to get me blood boiling again. So
yeah, that's fine. There were 13 games shown. Most were in-engine footage, but not necessarily gameplay, not actual gameplay. We'll talk about them in the order they were shown through the stream.
Okay, so before he starts, it's exactly what he just said. They're in-engine footage, but when you tout gameplay leading up to this whole thing, and I believe Microsoft's marketing said something along the lines of like, tomorrow changes everything, or like changes everything was a tagline or something along those lines, where they're touting these big things and blah, blah. And it's like, when you watch these, if you're listening to this, when we're done, it's a 30-minute video. Go watch it. You can find it relatively anywhere. Just type in Inside Xbox, when then however many days ago since Thursday happened. Wednesday? Thursday?
I think it was
Wednesday.
Wednesday.
Yeah. So however many days since Wednesday happened. I know that really helps you guys out with the dates, but and just watch the 30 minutes and see if you pick out what we're saying. Where in-engine footage, clearly it was shot in the game engine, but nobody's playing the game based on what we can see. It doesn't look like anything's being played. It all looks cinematic-y, and none of it looks particularly well.
I think there
were probably
two or three.
I think there were three where we could say that there were gameplay. It was the twin stick looking one, the flight one, and then the very, very first one they showed.
Yeah.
And then everything else, it was like, and even those gameplay ones are not complete gameplay. There's a lot of no HUD things. It's all still a scripted event. There's not, actual like game demos that we always complain about from E3, where you'll have somebody like, Alpha Squad checking in, and you're like, no gamer talks like that. That's not a thing. So
kind of going back to something we said earlier, is I do appreciate Microsoft's transparency on all of this, where clearly this was a blunder, and like we mentioned in the quote, people came forward and said this was a mistake on our part. The creative director for Valhalla was like, yeah, there was a miscommunication on as far as like marketing this and everything.
Yeah.
Like, it was nice to see that come up really quickly.
Yeah, it came up really quickly, and it's just one of those where I'm happy it came up quickly. It also shouldn't have happened.
Yeah. I'm a little bit more forgiving of it, because this is kind of clearly everyone's doing things outside their normal comfort zone.
Right.
I am forgivable. I kind of see the human side of it, but at the same time, these are multi-billion-dollar corporations that have hundreds of thousands of employees if you go through all of their subsidiaries and everything. Right.
It's hundreds of thousands of employees, and as much as like, okay, all of this is different for them, all in air quotes with the word different, they've also done stuff like this. They've run events. This is not Microsoft's first Inside Xbox reveal of games. You know what people, when you hear gameplay, you know what people are thinking. So I don't know where you think you're going to get away from that. I don't know if it was too many interns saw an email and like it just got thrown together through things, and people are like, oh no, we're going to show gameplay at this point. And they're like, they show gameplay, put it in, and they press the button, and there it went. And then everybody was just like, all right, screw it. They said gameplay, so now we're running with it. I don't know if that happened or the other joke of this, and it's not anything to do with the games, but I want to say it first. I think his name was Damon. I don't remember his last name. Was one of the guys from Xbox, like hosting the event, essentially hosting the. I don't even know if it was a live stream or if it was a like recorded video that they then put just as a live stream to play it. My guess is on the latter.
Mm-hmm.
Microsoft should send that man a webcam and a microphone. That shouldn't even be a question. Send him a high quality, at least a 1080p webcam and a microphone so he's not wearing the headset. Make him nice and crisp to hear and nice to see. You're trying to tout this whole thing about visuals and he doesn't look good. And he works at Microsoft. This shouldn't be hard. Not to mention all your games already look bad. At least make him look good. Don't make the whole thing look bad as an attempt to cover it. Come on. Shall we get into the games?
Yeah, let's run into the games. Let's see here.
Games.
So first up is Bright Memory Infinite. It's apparently developed by a single person in China. I'm assuming using Unreal Engine because of reasons.
Because why not?
The plot rundown is that it's 2036 and a mysterious phenomenon has scientists baffled as an old mystery brings together the histories of two different worlds. It expands on the original episode available on Steam into a more fully featured game. And that's where the whole Unreal Engine thing comes in.
And here's the fun part. Based on the trailer, you could not tell me any part of that.
Nope.
It's like, okay, at one point there are guns, and there is a guy fighting a guy with like a sword and shield.
Mm-hmm.
But
the architecture is Japanese,
in
Chinese.
nature, yeah. And then he has like psionic power things,
and
like
then the old what was that thing that it was in all the games past couple of years? The thing,
the whip,
the claw you throw into the air and
grappling hook.
Okay. That's the word.
Yeah, you want to whack the monitor, whack the
wild monitor appeared. Nate's slowly pushing me into like a corner with all of his stuff.
I'm not slowly pushing you into a corner. I just happen to actually need to boot that computer up this week. So sorry,
hacker man over here. Dirt 5. Oh, did you have anything else you want to say about Bright?
Going into that though, in Bright, it was one of the ones we saw gameplay in.
Yep,
it at least looked like gameplay. It doesn't look like the combat and stuff looks at least interesting and like traversal looks smooth and whatever. But when it came to one like the textures and everything, I don't know if they're just trying to hide bad textures with the way the weather system was happening and stuff. But it just did not look crisp anywhere, and except for like the numbers of ammo in the gun, and I was like, okay, this is Xbox Series X enhanced, all in air quotes. I'm like, with what technology?
Yeah, it kind of had a cyberpunk feel to it, and I'm wondering if that's people's cheap way of making things look cyberpunk. Is like having these like
that dystopian filter type thing.
Yeah, the glossy and like film grain like kind of look, like
maybe
glossy texture, rough texture, glossy text. You know, what was the other thing? Oh, the other thing I want to mention is the little episode that's up on Steam that's been there for years, that this is based on. All the review aggregate of it is very positive. So,
all right, so
something to say.
And honestly, maybe the first episode plays and looks better than this.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it does. I don't know.
Dirt 5 was up next. I have nothing written for it because Dirt 5, it's pretty straightforward. The only thing I have to say about it is it gave me hardcore Forza Horizon 4 vibes.
It does give it gives me those, and it gives me like OG Crew vibes in a way, like with all the cars and stuff. But I think that's unfair to Dirt to say. Because I agree, I know what you mean in us having played a lot of Horizons 4 and this giving it vibes. But I feel like if we were
the trailer cut is what it is.
It's
with
the
music, the colors, the way the trailer's cut.
Yeah, the trailer cut is very Horizon 4 trailer cut kind of. But I feel like if we were dirt racers, like if we were in the Dirt franchise more, we would be saying the exact same thing about Horizons 4 coming off of the back of Dirt 4 and 3.
Yeah.
Where we're like, oh, that's pretty close. Like, okay. And then watching it this time, it's like they're slowly just getting very close together. But it did look, it probably looked as like one of the best games visually out of this whole thing. But it is Codemasters who makes a good looking and well done racing game. So.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the only Dirt that I've had is Dirt 2, and it looked phenomenal.
I had Rally, and you guys watched me fail trying to race down a mountain track for 30 minutes.
Dude, those games are hard.
Dude, Rally is so hard.
Really hard.
I tried playing, I think, original Dirt, and then I tried playing Rally, and just doing like an actual rally course and not knowing when he says like 30 right, and I'm like, I only played for a couple hours, and I didn't realize like degrees or speeds.
I don't know how they've skewed in the recent ones, but Dirt 2, I don't know when Dirt Rally came out. I'm assuming it's been a while.
Might have been right after that. Or right
they're
before 3.
not. They're sim games. They're not like, they're not like Horizon.
Yeah, they are sim games, and it was also funny. I could not play Rally in third person. Yeah. I had to put myself in the car. It's the only way I could drive, because if I saw what the car was doing, I would overcorrect and crash constantly. But if I felt what the car was doing, I could just slightly, just kind of gently move it, and it would be fine. But yeah, it was a whole thing. But Dirt 5, hey. Yeah. Dirt 5.
Nothing to complain about.
There was one, I think it might have been in the post stuff when they were talking about it, that they put, maybe it was an oval track or something in now, where you had unbalanced cars. So like you had your largest tire was your back right tire and stuff, and your entire idea was just to drift around the entire track.
Oh, like dirt track racing. Like,
yeah. But you were built, like the car was built with misshaped tires to do that specific thing where you just never stopped, almost drifting around the entire thing. I was like, all right, that's different.
Have you ever went to the dirt track races in like the Utica Rome Speedway?
Once, when I was, oh God, I don't even know how young I was.
I went one time when I was younger as well, and that style of racing, and I got hit in the eye with a rock.
Yeah,
up in the stands.
I believe it.
Pretty classic.
Classic. You guys like dirt track racing? You like? Never mind. I was going to take that to a way darker spot. Let's move on.
Next up is Scorn, a first-person horror adventure game designed around the idea of being thrown into the world. There is actual gameplay footage on their website,
which is even more confusing because this was a trailer with no first person, no gameplay.
Yep.
But they have it on their site.
They do. Dude, I was baffled. I went to their website, pretty bare bones website, and I was just clicking through, and I saw this tab. I was like, media. Okay, I'll check that out. They have 3 videos up. They have like a trailer. They have a video that's just gameplay, and then they have the new Xbox Series X reveal trailer.
Why didn't you play the gameplay? Like, it's one of those added to the questions we have.
I thought this one was I don't know how to say it, but the aesthetic, the design, everything, I actually thought it was interesting looking. Like
it is it looks dark and disgusting.
Yeah. Like gothic kind of.
Gothic disgusting horror. Gothic gory.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't normally go for horror games.
Space gothic horror, because he like had the thing and put it into the other thing, and I don't know.
Yeah.
That's descriptive, by the way. If you watch the video, you'll know what I mean when I say he takes the thing and he puts it into the thing.
Just go watch it. There's a lot of
it's weird
sexual
which almost brought me to God, I can't remember that game I played from PAX, but it was it wasn't what is that author? Oh God, who's Cthulhu's author?
Oh, Lovecraft.
Yeah, it was like sexual Lovecraft, and it was just like weird. And I was like, something about this.
Next up, we have a game.
It's a genre.
Yeah, it's a genre. Next up, we have a game called Chorus. Players take control of dual protagonists: ex-cultist Nara, an ace pilot with a haunted past, and Forsaken, a sentient AI starfighter and her closest ally, with a mysterious backstory of his own to unravel. It's a story-driven single-player experience.
And if you watch the trailer, you'd think the game was called Corvus.
Yeah, I'm still...
Damn Roman lettering or whatever that is. Whatever font that is that makes U's look like V's.
I'm not even... Like, see, at this point, I'm still... Everything online had it written as Chorus. But I'm not convinced that it's not Corvus because... Or Corvus, however you'd say that. Because that's a fucking V. All right? I don't care what you tell me. That's a V.
Also, I think Corvus sounds way cooler. I think it not only sounds cooler, but I think it also makes sense for what the trailer depicts.
Yeah.
Chorus doesn't sound threatening. Corvus sounds like something you don't want to mind meld with to fly a plane.
After Chorus came Madden 21. It's Madden.
Speaking of EA's smart delivery.
Yep. Trying to think of anything to say about it. I don't think they really said anything about it.
It's a lot of Madden.
Yeah, it's just more Madden.
Patrick Mahomes looked like the best host of the entire thing.
Ain't that the truth?
So whatever pre-recorded footage he had, you guys should have just done the same thing.
Yeah. After Madden was Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2. I don't have a description on it because it was originally announced in March of 2019, so I just said fuck it. And we've seen it, other stuff from it before. This was probably the most we've seen of it. I don't personally have any interest in it.
I have no interest in it. It's another one that fails in its visual check. Where
hard. That one was hard.
Yeah, there are a lot. I was just like, I'm watching it and I'm like, oh no.
You know what's funny is when I was researching these, it came up that like it has a cult following because the original was really good and it came out around the time of Half-Life and some other games, and I was like, it looks like it did.
If I can find a video that I think it is, I need to show you the original. But this one has makings of being an Xbox One, PS4 launch title. And even then, debatable to PS3 and Xbox 360.
Yeah.
Because it just, none of it is, it's all rough. It all just, I don't know. It just visually does not look good to me. Like I'm
looks
talking
like
about,
it was
talking about
made,
specifically the cutscenes.
It looks like it was made with Source Engine. One.
Yeah. The cinematics, because there's, once again, when you're in first person, the most offensive first person spot is the very last shot where they show you start like dancing again.
Mm-hmm.
And you look down at your hands and you start snapping. I'm like, oh my, that looks terrible. Why would you show me that? But even in the beginning had me so hyped for thinking it was a Joker game or some other type of game. And then they show the character's face that's there and you see his face and I'm just like, oh God. Yeah. Why did they show you? Don't show me that. But like body movements looked janky. There was just a lot of like,
I realize that we probably sound like video game snobs, but this isn't like this type of event, which was very short. You only got a minute or two of each video game. Like it doesn't suit itself well to the type of games that put graphics second and gameplay or story first.
In
the way they presented
exactly that, and then when you said you're going to do gameplay, but you switch it and do
story, basically story trailers, setting trailers.
Things.
I don't know,
and they don't look well. Like none of these look good, and we are coming off snobby about it, but it's not wrong. Like go look at them, and you'll see what we're talking about. And I just hope for the people that are in that cult following of Vampire Masquerade, what is it? Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2. I hope the people that like that game like this second one. I hope it works for them. I'm not going to play it, but I hope it works for them. And this is also going to what we're saying about the gameplay thing. in this moment, you should be putting your best foot forward with a very good vertical slice.
Yeah.
I don't need to see your full game. Show me your 2-minute vertical slice of your best. And none of these, I think, did that.
No. Which isn't necessarily the developer's fault either. I want to say that because that might not have been what this might. We don't know who's to blame specifically for this. This might be what Microsoft asked for and didn't say.
Or when they asked, it could have been a rush job for some of them. Maybe they asked on, with a week's notice. And they're like, hey, can you throw something together? And they're like, well, we want to be in it. So, sure, we'll throw something together.
Yeah.
I am curious for something like Dirt or I'm trying to think of the other one. Dirt or the Yakuza one we're going to talk about. I'm curious if I go try to catch those trailers from their channels that aren't cut from this, that weren't just sliced out of the stream.
Mm-hmm.
If they are better.
Yeah. Well, we could do that after this.
Yeah, but it's only those two because those two have the budgets to have their launch trailers look perfect.
Yeah. Next up is Call of the Sea, an otherworldly adventure that takes place in the 1930s. It is story-driven. It is a story-driven game that lets you take on the role of Nora, a woman who has crossed an ocean in a desperate search for her husband who has gone missing on an expedition.
And apparently found things once thought locked away.
Yeah.
Apparently. I think is what she says. Looks like a calming exploration type puzzle solving game mixed with some type of ancient beast mystery.
And
honestly, that one doesn't look bad for what it is.
Yeah, it's stylized. So
it's stylized. It had Witness vibes to it for me, and I was like, okay, I'm not gonna. It's not my style of game, but it doesn't look bad.
Yeah.
in comparison to everything else we're seeing.
The Ascent, a solo and co-op action RPG set in a cyberpunk world. The mega corporation that owns you and everyone, the Ascent Group, has just collapsed. Confusion and chaos ensue, security and order are in disarray, and without protection, everyone is left to fend for themselves. Stop gangs and hostile corporations from taking over and discover what really happened.
General disarray. No, it does look interesting.
Mm-hmm.
It actually does have gameplay in the trailer.
Yep.
Or in the trailer we saw. It has gameplay to the point where whoever was holding the controller wasn't moving, but they were at least pulling the trigger, which I thought was really funny. Because there were just those moments where the guy had the heavy gun and he's just not moving, but he's just standing there shooting it. I was like, spin around or something, man. Come on. There's people all around you. But that one had also one of the better visuals to it of all of the things we saw. It at least piqued some curiosity in me that I would pay attention. That'll be one that I pay attention to going forward. Just to see.
The cyberpunk themes this year are heavy. Real heavy.
I wonder why.
Next, we have The Medium, a psychological horror game built around a central motif, how your perspective changes your perception. The score is composed by Akira Yamaoka. Yamoka.
No, I think you were right the first time.
Yamaoka.
I think.
I'm not sure. If you're familiar with Silent Hill, you'll know who I'm talking about. He was the composer for Silent Hill.
Yeah, and has some interesting vibes. If you're into horror games, I think it's going to be one that you like. I'm not, but
yeah,
it definitely had an interesting...
Had a cool thing going on.
Yeah, it had a cool thing going on. It actually made me pay attention to the trailer because she is obviously the medium trying to jump back and forth between worlds and what she's dealing with and what's going to attack her type of things. So it at least made you look at it.
Yeah.
Where some of these other ones you could look away and not miss anything. That one at least was ooh. what's happening over here? Somebody's cutting her hand and trying to sacrifice things to demons?
Maybe.
I'm watching you, lady.
Maybe that baby's a demon.
Baby.
Baby in the belly. You didn't do the first shot where she's getting the sonogram?
Oh, yeah, the baby in the belly.
Yeah. Scarlet Nexus.
Is it BB?
Crossover. Scarlet Nexus, a Bandai Namco RPG whose game description is too long. It takes place in a future... You like that? It takes place in a future where there are psionic warriors who face monsters called Others.
I like the creative naming. We fight monsters that are called Others.
Yeah,
They are Others.
All these had like a really nice like couple sentence summary. This thing was like multiple paragraphs.
Well, this is the Scarlet Nexus, so there's a lot to tell you about.
And I was like, bro, like no one wants to read through all this.
Do you want to hit up your anime tie?
I mean, it reminds me of Fire Force. If you watch anime, you know, you got your.
I mean, this is an anime game.
Yeah,
it really is. For all intents and purposes.
It does look like an anime.
But
not one I'll be playing. Not my
Fire
jam.
Forces was what? It was
literally the same concept. It was, I guess you'd say, psionic warriors. Like some of them have different abilities, and they fight basically fire demons.
Firefighters with psionic abilities who fight fire demons.
Yep.
Called Fire Others. Haha, no, not really, but it'd be funny.
Let's see here. Where are we? Second Extinction. A 3-player co-op shooter where your goal is to wipe out the mutated dinosaurs that have taken over the planet.
Stop it with the 3-player shit.
That's weird. I do agree.
Stop it.
Just
because the shooters do it doesn't mean you have to do it.
When did it? Remember?
Yes, I do remember the days, Matt. I remember the days of an even numbered party system.
We literally, like, it's, I don't know. I just don't know. 2 people. Why is that so hard? Why?
I don't
Where did
understand.
they get this 3-player thing?
Like, but like,
it's almost like,
what if it was awkward and one of your friends was hanging out and you couldn't play with them? I'm like,
then make it 1 to 4 players.
Yeah. At what point do I ever have? Just go back. Anybody that's wondering, go back to my rant 2 weeks ago or last week, whatever it was, on 2-person versus 3-person, because why? Left 4 Dead was a 4-player co-op if you wanted it to be.
Yeah.
Go with that model because it fucking worked. It was pretty damn good.
Mm-hmm. In this game, you could easily scale it. Yeah, the house is really dry right now for some reason.
My eyes are starting to really water to fix that.
Oh. Normally, I just for the people at home who don't know what I look like. No, I usually have 2 bottles of water.
I'm disgusting.
Here that I don't necessarily need both waters, and I just by habit drink them. I'm like, the throw is.
Yeah, it's funny because normally you might even leave like half of one, or like in weeks past you've just left one here. And I turn around halfway through the week and I'm like, oh, Matt left the water. Nope. Both are gone.
Yep.
And we're not done. And my drink's gone. And I'm just like, maybe it's the food. I don't know. It
could be.
I do think it's the house is dry though, because my eyes are trying to like start crying. If I start crying, it's not because of anything you said. Don't worry.
It's these terrible games. Yakuza.
The visuals made me cry.
Yakuza Like a Dragon. You play as You play as a low-ranking Yakuza grunt left on the brink of death by the man he trusted most. Take up your legendary bat and get ready to crack some underworld skulls in dynamic RPG combat set against the backdrop of modern-day Japan.
I think Yakuza games are a joke.
They're a joke, but they're like...
But they know, they're like...
They're... Yeah.
They double down.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, let's have this serious story, but we're also going to have all these silly side quests. After I watched Ray Narvaez, or Brown Man on Twitch, twitch.tv/BrownMan, go give him a sub. He played Yakuza 0 all the way through, and I watched a lot of it because I'm in quarantine. And what else do I have to do? The story was decently like seriously toned. Of like, okay, there's a lot of these like serious moments. Then he's doing side activities, and they're just comical.
Yeah, I watched one where the main character was trying to teach a dominatrix how to be dominant.
Yeah.
She was like a shy, really, introverted girl.
Yeah, she was a terrible dominatrix, and he taught her how to be a good dominatrix. It's like which is just a weird storyline. There's ones where he was singing karaoke. He would go bowling. He was helping somebody, one of the side characters, because that one is set in the 80s, I think. He was helping one character who had an invention called the bag phone, which, if anybody is technology or that old, you know what a bag phone was, and it was basically you walking around with a satchel that had the phone in a bag, which the bag was just a giant battery, and the kid's getting beat up and whatever, and you help him out, and then you go to make a call, the battery's dead, his shoulder hurts because he's been holding on to the thing all the whole time, and like it's just there's so many side stories that are happening the entire time, and then it's immediately is like, you must go back and get my daughter before she is killed. And you're like, whoa. I just got done singing karaoke. Can we like slow up for a bit? Also in the trailer, I find it awesome. First off, his hairstyle when he comes back out of jail.
I did like the transformation.
Yeah, he gets that nice almost like fro going. And then I
wonder if it's because of all the lightning you keep seeing.
Maybe. Yeah, he's just statically charged and it poofed his hair.
Yeah.
And I liked the King Arthur pulling the bat out of the pavement of just, he pulls this barbed wire bat like he's pulling Excalibur and just
I like the trailer transition too, because it's like serious, then all of a sudden it's just like shit just gets nuts with pulling the bats out.
Giant lobster.
Lightning, the giant fucking lobster. I'm like, what is going on?
It's one where it's like, I feel like we should play it. Like that should be, we should.
Yakuza games.
So Sunday, I need you to drop me off for a car. We should finish Man of Medan. Also, we should get Yakuza.
It is definitely one of the, like, I do want to play one eventually.
Yeah. I think we have a bright future for our channel if the PGA Tour thing happens. Because, Matt, we will 1v1 in PGA Tour, and then we will get angry and go play Yakuza. And start laughing when one of us has to fight giant enemy crab god.
And then not laugh when it kicks our ass.
And then laugh more as I pull out my bat and my sweet dragon tat of doom. Dragon back tat, mind you. Oh, big dragon.
Speaking of back tats, Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
Segue.
A game engine trailer that shows off the setting. That's basically what it was. We already know what Assassin's Creed Valhalla is. On Twitter.
But the biggest part of this whole thing is what you're about to say, Matt.
Which didn't even take place at the event.
And it didn't. And I am so disappointed it didn't.
On Twitter, an Ubisoft exec, specifically one from the Middle East. I can't remember. His title was something of the Middle East, like that region.
Yeah.
Said, quote, "Neither the longest nor the biggest game in the series listened to this point of criticism as well and worked on it." And that was a translation via Google.
Good. We need to bring you guys back in from your Odyssey.
Yeah.
Even Origins. Let's come back a little bit. Because as I said last week, you're starting to get too crazy. Let's take that. If everybody home, go ahead and hold your arms out right in front of you, straight out, like you're about to do the mummy walk almost. Yeah, exactly. That's Egyptian walk. When I do that music, hold your arms out. So this is where Assassin's Creed started. Notice you got about a foot, maybe a little bit more gap between your arms. Now move them 180 degrees out as if you were pretending you were an airplane. Welcome to Odyssey. That's how much the game tried to cover, was this gigantic arc. So now we're just going to kind of hope that our arms come slightly back in, maybe to 45 degrees from where they were, and let's cover that much. No more. Maybe less, but no more than that. As if we're going for a big embracing hug. Does that make sense, Matt? Is that a good...
It does. What would you consider to be the best Assassin's Creed game?
Oh, the best objectively the best, or one I enjoyed the most, or same.
You could either or, both. Fuck it, both.
2.
Okay. To illustrate the point, Assassin's Creed 2, for a completionist run, 35 hours.
Wait, and completionist is everything in the game, 100%ing it. So
Yes. Would you like to guess Odyssey?
Odyssey's completionist run,
Yes.
which is 100% of the game, which means collecting everything and blah blah blah, which means 236 hours.
That's insane. 125.
Oh, okay.
Which is not much better.
125, which is still almost 100 hours more than Assassin's Creed 2.
Yeah.
That's where we need to.
For reference, Black Flag. Another game you're not a fan of.
I'm not a huge fan of it now.
58 hours for a completionist run.
What's Origins?
81 and a half.
Okay. Now, here's the funny thing. When you compare, let's say 2 Black Flag and Origins. We'll throw Odyssey out of this because Odyssey has too many problems for me. But we'll say those 3. We'll say the game where the problem started, a game that I enjoyed, and the game that I think is best. 35 for a completionist run is pretty good. 50-something for a completionist run is pretty good in terms of like timing wise. Honestly, I think 50-something, if this game's around 50-something, that's pretty good. That's not bad at all.
So,
but
most of the only 3 games really are offensive as far as length.
Odyssey.
Yep.
Origins, and
the last one's kind of a weird one.
Unity?
Yep, Unity.
Unity is probably there only because the game would constantly crash because they couldn't render how many people they
would make sense.
They used it as a tech demo. They kept trying to throw. I don't know if you remember this. Because Unity came out the same time Rogue did. Rogue was the 360 and PS3 one, and then Unity was the Xbox One, PS4 one, and they were trying to take advantage of all the tech. So when you'd run through a city, they dropped so many NPCs into the streets that the game would crash, or you would constantly get those like no-face people where only their eyes and mouths show up and everything just looks terrible and the game would lag.
So a main plus extra run for Unity, which is probably the average run, we'll say, 33 hours. A completionist run,
Okay.
77 and a half.
Yeah, that's...
Was it a collectathon, I'm assuming?
That's the joke with an Ubisoft game is it's a collectathon. It probably had the 200 feathers thing in it where you had to run around the map and find all of those and then all the other stuff.
Because, that's really the only one where there's like a huge jump between...
Yeah, it's almost double the amount of time to finish a completionist run. Or to finish a completionist part of it. Like,
yeah.
The main campaign takes you 35 hours, and you have to do more than 35 hours again to finish it. Like, that's a lot. I think 55 is a solid time. Even if that's the main campaign is 55, that's fine. If a completionist run is only like 68.
Yeah.
But if your completionist is at 55 and your main campaign's at like 40 or 33, if your main campaign's 30 hours long and it's a 25 hour after that for a completionist, that's a lot of game still. That is a lot of game. And
I was going to say it's funny because if you just do the main campaign on Origins, I think it's 20 hours. If you just do the main campaign on Odyssey, it's like 38.
Right. But both of those problems don't allow you to do that. You remember, you know what I mean? Like, because both of those games have that leveling mechanic where you can't just do that.
Which it's way more... Origins, you're okay. You're probably okay for the most part. There'll be some spots. Odyssey, it's just straight up like they just fuck you.
Yeah. Origins, you can get away with it much easier than you can Odyssey. Odyssey will beat you down for being in the wrong area when you're not supposed to. But it's a timing thing where I think 55 hours as a completionist thing is pretty good. But here's my big difference with Origins, Odyssey, Black Flag, Assassin's Creed 2, all that stuff, right? For me, as a player, what was enjoyable? Origins was enjoyable. 2 was enjoyable. Stuff where I was actually more boots on the ground, like combat and having those more assassin-y moments and not world touring all across. Like, The reason Black Flag is completionist is 55 hours because you have to fucking sail everywhere, and it's terrible. And then you have to do sailing battles. Terrible. Odyssey, probably the exact same thing because you have to do shit in the ocean. And it's like, no. It's so time-consumingly terrible to be wasting around out there when I could just not do that. And it's like, oh, Origins, you're only forced into that giant sea battle in that one part where you have to, go see or take Cleopatra to Alexander or
something,
or Caesar, whatever it is, or Mark Antony. I don't remember. You have to go across with that storyline, and that's the only time you have to do it. Of like the big sea battle. Otherwise, yeah, you can just hop on a little boat and jet across the lake really quick, but that's not that bad. So it's just the other ones were good at not feeling
like a grind.
Feeling like a grind while still being one. Where Odyssey went, y'all like grinding? How about some more grinding? Hey, by the way, grind. And it's like, no. You stop that now.
I'm curious. I'm really looking forward to seeing if that how accurate that statement is.
Right.
How much, if they genuinely scaled back, or if it's like
or if they think they scaled back.
Yeah. Like, and I guess
I think no matter what, they'll try.
If they went from Odyssey back to Origins, would you consider that a scale back? Because I personally would not.
I would consider it a scale back, but it once again depends on what they're doing. Yeah. Because just scaling it back in terms of like, okay, there's slightly less to do, but you're still going to make me do the awful shit where it feels bad. It's not going to help your case.
Yeah.
Like if you still took Odyssey and still put it into Origins timeline, I still wouldn't like it because there's still all these mechanics that slow down the game.
Yeah.
Like, oh, hey, you sailed all the way to this island. Now get off your damn horse and run into the middle of it to talk to one person, then run to another part of the island to talk to them, and then run all the way back to your boat. Like, there were a lot of just times like that where I'm like, this is 30 minutes, and I'm doing nothing.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of, you need to scale back, but also still make everything be meaningful to an extent. Obviously, I don't want you to just start shoehorning in things, which is what you can go to Stonehenge. Cool. You know what I don't care about? Going to Stonehenge. Who'd have thought? Oh, you can go to Stone. I love that became like a talking point. I don't know if you noticed that.
I did.
There were a lot of sites that were like, you can go to Stonehenge. And I was like, holy shit. And you can go to the pyramids in Egypt. Who'd have fucking thought? Why is this a story thing?
Remember when Assassin's Creed was historically accurate?
Shut the hell up.
All right, well, we're going to be spending too much time on this. Do you want to move on to the last thing?
I was going to say, which part do you want to discuss about being historically accurate? Because technically there's history in all of the games that is decently close. Mm-hmm. Minus the part where nobody mentions that one warrior took on an entire army with some god weapon and murdered all of them by herself. And no one thought twice. Weird. Hey, have you noticed that sometimes, like when we're fighting, the Spartans have this chick, like just fighting with them? I don't know. Yeah, it does seem weird. Hey, does that chick that's on our side look like her? Oh, that is weird. What the hell's she doing over here? We were just fighting in the other province. Well, you know what, man? These herbs, man, they're too much. Too much. Because that whole thing doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Oh, you can ally with Sparta for this fight, or you can ally with Athens. Who cares? Yay! I'm like, no!
Yay! City-states.
And meanwhile, I watch everybody that's just like, Odyssey was my favorite game. And I'm like, I wish you played the other ones.
I liked Odyssey, but for different
I like
reasons.
Moments of Odyssey.
I think Odyssey's issue...
But there's a whole
which
thing.
We're spending way too much time on this, but... Odyssey's issue is
the
that
Assassin's Creed podcast
is that Assassin's Creed is in front of it.
Yes. No, I 100% agree. If you removed the words Assassin's Creed and just called it Odyssey and literally just call it Odyssey, I think that's a solid name still, just for a standalone name.
For what that game is, Odyssey, and then
or name it the Iliad, or
maybe strip out some of the. I mean, you could strip out the Assassin's Creed stuff from that game and the game would still be a full fleshed out game.
Don't even strip out the Assassin's Creed stuff. Just strip out the specific moments dealing with the weapons. Like the fact that you have this anointed weapon that you have to go places for. Like, ignore that. You can still have the weapon be like, this is Leonidas' spear type of thing. And everybody knows it's his spear because of how it looks, but not because it has these godly powers. And you still have an entirely large game dealing with the Greece and everything like that is still rich in mythos and history. And it's what we worry about, that I worry about with Valhalla. Does Assassin's Creed make sense being in front of it?
Only time will tell.
Wait till we get what's their boat game? Skull and Bones.
Skull and Bones.
And everybody just goes, why didn't you put Assassin's Creed in front of this one? Who knows?
That game might get canceled.
Yeah, that game might not come out. What comes out first, the TV show or the game? Here we go.
Rumor roundup.
Oh, yay, roundup. And then we can get this show rounded up.
According to Jason Schreier, Sony plans on having a PS5 event soon. Quote, as far as I know, Sony is still on track to do it at least one thing by early June or by mid-June, end quote.
All right, cool.
We'll see.
We're going to do one thing. We're going to do one thing only. It's provocative. Gets people going.
And then I think there was a follow-up tweet by him that called out specifically June 5th, I think is what he said. 4th or 5th.
I guess that is early or mid-June, depending on when you define both of those dates.
Ubisoft has registered the domain name princeofpersia6.com. Last time this happened, which was with princeofpersia5.com, we got a Prince of Persia game a couple years later.
It would be really weird to see a Prince of Persia game coming out.
I agree.
That would be... All right. Where's Splinter Cell? I feel like that's needed before Prince of Persia. But,
yeah, whatever happened with... I mean, they were like, basically, hey, we got a Splinter Cell game.
They like to get you right there and then let you stop. Hands off. Like, hey, did you really want that Splinter Cell? Yeah, you like Sam Fisher, don't you? Yeah. Sorry, we gotta go now. See you later. Bye.
Ubisoft. That's called edging.
And I don't like it. I don't like it.
EA updated their slate of game releases for 2021 fiscal year. And included on that list was, quote, EA HD title, end quote. A few journalists and insiders are reporting this to be a Mass Effect Trilogy remaster.
Sure, yeah, why not? Because we're going to take 3 words that literally could mean anything, EA HD title, and not say it's Skate 4. So, Skate Remastered. You're welcome.
Another rumor that showed up too late to be added.
But EA also lost the Skate licensing, so I mean...
Yeah. There was some skateboarder who said that there is another skateboarding game in the works. And then there was another unrelated rumor from another source. These are questionable sources, by the way.
Oh, okay.
That said that EA didn't want to go forward with Skate 4, but they were more interested in a skateboarding mobile game.
No.
So let's hope those aren't true.
You guys, all right, listen. So we give you the board, but you need to buy the loot boxes to get the trucks, the nuts, the wheels, all the screws to put it into your board, and within like a month and $40,000, you can actually ride on a skateboard in the game, in which we only put 1 rail and 1 slight ramp, no half pipe. You're welcome. EA Mobile Games. Give me all your money. All right, well, that's the roundup. That's the news.
That's it.
It's a lot of news, mostly because we spent way too much time on Assassin's Creed Valhalla, and hopefully sometime Nate will stop talking about it. But if there's a gameplay reveal, it won't go any easier.
I always hope for the best, prepare for the worst, hope for the best. Maybe
on this podcast, that means something completely different.
Yeah. Maybe we'll get, that gameplay trailer and like some developer commentary, and all of our fears and questions will be
I would love nothing
answered.
more than to be excited for this game.
Same.
And I'm not like dismissing it, but I don't have the fire lit underneath me that every other fanboy does.
Yeah.
But it's just what it is.
Yeah.
that concludes the news. If you are done listening, well, we'll see you later. But, I don't want you to be, so stick around and listen to what Matt's done for the last 7 days.
What have I done for the last 7 days? I've slowly I've convinced Samantha to take up video gaming. So we've been working on some of those old, the games that you tell people to play when they're.
I've slowly coerced her to come to the dark side.
I think a lot of it's the girlfriend reviews because she started.
Girlfriend Reviews is a great channel.
So she watched me play Half-Life Alyx, and I think that kind of interested her a little bit. And then
did she ever play any of it? I think you said she did. She played a little bit.
Yeah, she played the first chapter. And then she played Beat Saber, and
that game fucked me up, man.
A little Super Hot.
Super Hot's where I could have sat
She
in
didn't
that game
like
all
Super
day.
Hot.
Oh, so good though.
She loved Beat Saber.
Beat Saber was a lot of fun, but I think it would be even more fun now that you've got your own tracks. I think that would be the real.
Yeah, it is. It's much better.
Yeah, because when you know what you're playing, it's pretty cool.
And it's the mod you can search in game and download the.
Oh, there you go.
So that
makes
it
much easier too. Yeah.
She played Portal 1. I helped her a little bit. Not a lot.
Did you guys finish Portal 1?
She finished Portal 1.
Oh, nice. So now I can say the cake is a lie and she'll get it.
Cake is a lie. We played all of the Portal 2 co-op maps.
Oh, all right.
And she played through the Portal 2 campaign.
Look at her go.
Yeah, she's trucking.
I'm proud of her.
And then we have to figure out what we're going to do next. Because she wants to play co-op stuff, which obviously I get it. The next step, I'm trying to grab one of the H1 cases whenever they get back in stock. The MTX H1. Yeah. And then once I do that, I'll have two fully functional gaming computers, and we'll be able to work. Our options, expand greatly. So
your options not only expand greatly, but you can also own your computer again.
Yeah. What have I been playing personally? Only SnowRunners, really. Which is
describe SnowRunners, because I based on the keywords you gave me, remember it, but I know people do not know that game.
So if you're familiar with Spin Tires or Mud Runners, it's in that franchise and it's made by Saber Interactive. What it is essentially is it's a sim of sorts where you basically do off-roading, and the premise is in this particular game, you have several maps. The game is much larger than I thought it was when I purchased it.
Okay.
I'll say that. The first map is Michigan. The premise is this town has been flooded, and you are a trucker type person, and you're delivering supplies and helping out and doing this stuff.
To the flooded town?
Yes.
Okay.
And so basically you're just off-roading with big rigs, trucks, whatever you got to do. Bridge repairs, scouting locations, finding stuff, delivering stuff. It gets kind of nuts. The physics engines are crazy with the mud, vehicles tipping over. You got your winching, you got cranes, you got all sorts of crazy stuff going on.
There's a lot more than I thought was going on.
Same. And it's kind of it's a weird sim, because you know how most sims are very focused.
For the most part. Extent. Yeah, for the most part, yeah.
This one's kind of all over the place. You physically drive the trucks, but you also are trying to be strategic where you can own a whole fleet of trucks and be placing them strategically around the map so you can do things more effectively, because you can hop from truck to truck to truck and drive them. And then say you have a truck that has something on it that needs to be delivered, and you tip that truck over. You can recover back to your base of operations, but you got to start over.
Oh.
So it might be more time effective to drive out there with another vehicle and try to rescue it on the spot instead of recovering
flipping it back over
and reloading the stuff back on it, or whatever the case may be.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
have you done that yet?
Yes. And I kind of
my brain hurts. thinking of that.
Yeah, you should probably play it at some point just so you can be like, what the fuck?
I probably don't even need to play it. I think I'll just watch.
Yeah, you could watch a 20-minute video and get the whole gist of the game.
Or like the next time you're playing it, I'll just tell you to hit that stream live button and I'll just watch on Discord.
So there's 3 locations. There's Michigan, Alaska, Russia.
Okay.
And inside each location, there's multiple maps.
You know what they say about going into a Russian winter, man.
Michigan has 4 maps.
Okay.
Alaska and Russia, I think, only has 1. Alaska, I'm not sure. But like, I got annoyed with the capabilities of some of my vehicles to where like Russia's clearly the hardest place.
Yeah.
But they also separate. So like when you're in Michigan, you can only purchase trucks that are available in the U.S.
Oh, interesting.
So I went to my garage in Russia and purchased, got to get one of those fucking Russian trucks,
Right.
those big monstrosities. And I had it moved back to the U.S. so I could like have something.
You're like, I need one of these Russian trucks. Now ship it back to Michigan.
Yeah. I'm like, I'm like sick of this shit. So I went to Russia and bought like this just fucking monstrosity with like 59-inch tires, like just
something stupid.
Yeah. I put probably...
You've got to be over 20 hours at least.
I'm not sure. Last time I looked, I can't remember what it was, but it wasn't as high as I was expecting it to be. And I think it's because the game is so slow that you feel like you're playing it forever.
Uh-huh.
And then on top of that, you're not really making progress quickly, obviously, because the game's slow. So, oh well.
I just feel like every time I open Discord lately, I see you in SnowRunners, and I'm like, what is he playing?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm doing, the usual. So
yeah. That's all I got. And I have no firm plans other than, chipping away at SnowRunner.
Fair enough.
So that's it for me.
Sounds simple.
Yeah.
Simple, but it's honest work.
Mm-hmm. It's that game that what it does for me is it's that game that, kind of like what Destiny did when we were playing Destiny, where it's like, it doesn't require a ton of attention. It's just mindless stuff. And it's kind of soothing. So like I can listen to something, talk to
something, watch something, whatever. Yeah. I mean, that's at a point, that's what Destiny was for us. Not at the offset, but like once, especially Destiny 1, once we were geared or whatever, we're like, all right, well, we just got to get this stuff done. You guys want to run through strikes? And then the 3 of us would just, once again, stupid 3-player fucking, we would just run through strikes and just not be thinking.
Yeah.
And even when the raid came out, the first raid, it took us a couple weeks to get that completely down, and then for the most part we could sleep through that, and then only had to pay attention a little bit on Archivon, and then we didn't have to pay attention again until they purposely broke it.
Yep.
But it was a very chill, just let's hang out and talk.
What do you got? Anything new and exciting?
I got a whole lot of nothing new and exciting. It's mostly been Animal Crossing, it's been World of Warcraft, and it's been MLB The Show. And when I'm not getting annoyed at WoW, I maybe play some Magic the Gathering on my PC. Been dabbling with Ableton and making some music.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. It's interesting. Sometimes like that mix that I played to you, where I was just live mixing, jamming things. I was like, I listened to that for probably 3 minutes the other day, numerous times, while I was just like tweaking to see if there was things I wanted to add. But now I think at some point I might just press record and do the live mix that I want to of it for like 3 minutes, and then just see how it sounds. Mm-hmm. Like, all right, cool, that's locked in. Let's move on to a different one and see what's up. But yeah, that's been interesting. And then at some point, I do need to play Journey. I have it installed, but I just haven't done it yet. And it'll probably be... I have some stuff I need to knock out in the show. I have 4 challenges that I need to... Or four goals that I need to meet. And once those are done, I think I'm going to have some downtime for a little bit. So I'll probably play Journey then. Just because every time I boot up the PlayStation, it's already on the show. And I'm like, well, I'm already here, so I might as well play it. But yeah. And then we have stuff that I would like us to play at some point. But that'll take us being in the same vicinity and building. Mm-hmm. But yeah, that's really it. And then I finished Westworld. The season finale wrapped last week. So now it's going to be Devs is going to be my watch. And then I I might watch the HBO Watchmen series just because I'm curious.
I've heard that's really good.
My buddy from work said it was really good when he watched it, and he's like, you should really sit down and watch it. And I was like, all right, well, now that I finished 2 of my shows in Lego Masters and Westworld, so now I have just Dev, so I can add in that.
Mm-hmm.
Outsider, I don't think I'm going back to. It was good, but it was kind of slow. For me, it was just kind of slow and like whatever. And I just it never hooked me. So that's what it is.
That's fair.
Sometimes you just gotta let stuff go. That's how it is. But all right, yeah, that's it. We will see you guys next week. Once again, comments are down. There's a link in all the descriptions of wherever you're watching this. It's just there. It's a little survey. You click the thing and then fill it out. And I'll read it. And if it's a question or something that we need to read on here, I'll read it on here. If not, then I'll just take that and file it away under complaints and or notes. Depends on your attitude. We'll see you later. Bye-bye.